there are two things you can count on when it comes to Tom Brevoort. It's that one, he's going to answer questions on his Man in a Hat Substack. And two, the more he talks and answers questions on that Substack, you get the feeling this guy really has no idea what the hell he's talking about anymore. It's really reaching that bad at this point. And case in point, he had some things to say about Marvel Rivals and how the fact that, even though that game is extremely popular right now, that they have nothing to do with the comics, man. We just going to keep making them as awful as possible because we've learned nothing. Yeah, Tom, that's the way to go. Let's dive into this article here from Bounding into Comics. Marvel Comics exec editor says Marvel Rivals has no effect on print plans, believes character popularity has more to do with play mechanics than it does the character themselves. You see, this is what I'm talking about. They don't understand the correlation between the two. You look at something like anime. A lot of people will get into anime and from that go over to manga. Or they will get into manga, see that the manga has been turned into an anime and want to check it out and then want to check out more and see other things and then check out video games, all these things. There is a correlation between them. But Tom Brevoort doesn't get that, and these are the kind of stupid statements that he makes. So let's go on. While Marvel Rivals may be opening the door for some of the publisher's lesser-known characters to see some love, Marvel Comics executive editor Tom Brevoort says that a given hero's in-game popularity has no bearing on their comic book future because, unfortunately, the hero shooter's core player base has little interest in checking out its actual source material. Again, this is the problem. When you look at some of the characters in Marvel Rivals, like recently they were talking about Cloak and Dagger. They haven't shown up in Marvel Comics in God alone knows how long. They had a series with them that wasn't great, but it was, it was okay. It was the last thing I believe they did was when they were on that god-awful animated Spider-Man series that just made no sense. But you haven't done anything with these characters. Nobody's saying you're going to give them a long-running series and all kind of stuff like that. But you could introduce them in something and breathe some life back into these characters. But no, you don't need to do that because people have no interest whatsoever in these characters. This is why they keep losing money, because they don't think. Check Emma Frost here, for instance. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'm telling you, check out that woman hips in that game. I telling you, what have they turned Emma Frost into in Marvel Comics? Some psycho who kill people and whatever. As per usual, Brevoort offered this latest insight into Marvel Comics behind-the-scenes operations during the Q&A portion of his most recent Man with a Hat Substack blog entry. But I said, two things you can count on. One is that he's going to answer questions on his Man with a Hat Substack. Continue. In kicking off his weekly feature, the X-Men line editor chose to field a question regarding whether or not there was anything readers can anticipate from Cloak and Dagger in the next year. I now mention Cloak and Dagger. Particularly in light of how, in the fans' opinion, it feels like they've never been more popular than they are right now thanks to Marvel Rivals. Again, this is my point. I'm not saying you have to give them a full ongoing series or anything like that, but you could have them show up and you could craft a storyline and have them show up in it and actually kind of make the characters a little more interesting, showcase them, something like that. But no, they don't want to do that. All Marvel is interested in is ruining Spider-Man's life and making everybody else gay. That's all they want. Here they are, Cloak and Dagger in the game. I'm telling you. Why? But no. Unfortunately, for not only the fan who asked said question, but also those hoping to see a potentially comic book resurgence for characters such as Hela, Emma Frost, Penny Parker, or Adam Warlock, or in the case of Luna Snow, an initial comic book boom, Brevoort in turn explained that contrary to popular belief, he has seen little crossover between Marvel Rivals players and a demand for more comic book featuring a given hero. Well, maybe Tom, before I get to what he has to say, but just maybe Tom, if you tell good stories with your characters and you start to say that you're going to be introducing these characters in there, you actually sit down and have competent writers, not some of the idiots you're hiring. No, craft stories about these heroes and bring them in, give them an updated look, maybe make them be more cool. Because I think the last time that I saw Cloak was in that Falcon Cap comic where apparently all black superheroes know each other and get together for barbecues for some reason. That was it. But no, according to Tom, that doesn't happen because they don't seem to understand that you're driving away your fans by the crap that you continue to do. This is what Tom Brevoort had to say. I tell you, I tend to think that popularity in Marvel Rivals likely has more to do with play mechanics than it does the characters themselves. Which is to say that I haven't seen any major correlation between popularity in the game and a rise of interest in the character in print, outside of maybe one or two outliers. So Naruto was one of the most popular mangas in the world during its time. One of the most popular mangas in the world. It had it had an anime version. It had several video games. I know a lot of people who got into Naruto just off of video games and the anime alone, and then jumped right into the manga. There are many who did that. But no, Tom Brevoort doesn't believe that because you don't see any correlation because what you're putting out in print is garbage. And people are not going to do that. People are going to Marvel Rivals because what they're getting in Marvel Rivals is what they want in the comics. They want sexy women. They want buff dudes. They want cool fights. They want interaction with these characters that makes them feel like they're actually interested in something. I mean, that's what they want. Yes, it's a video game. You're going to be playing with these characters. These are characters that you like. You enjoy that. But when you get to the comic books now and you see the crap that you're doing, this is what happens. Like I say to people, when the MCU was hot, and I mean really hot, when the MCU was on fire, and people was like, hey, I love these characters. Let me run over to Marvel to see what I could check out over there. When you go over to Marvel to check out to see, okay, let me see Iron Man. When you find out that Tony Stark is now a 16-year-old black girl named Riri Williams, who's a narcissist. Okay, maybe I'll check out Captain America, only to find out that, Falcon is now Captain America, because why not? All right, okay, no problem. I'll check out Hulk. Oh, no, 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 no. Amadeus Cho is also kind of Gogurt Hulk nonsense or something like that. Okay, all right, let me check out Hawkeye then. Hawkeye is pretty good. Nope, here comes Kate Bishop. And so it kept going. So it kept going, and this is what turned off a lot of people. When your industry was hot, when you had the ability to make a lot of money, you were putting out shit nobody asked for. And this is in turn what you're getting. Marvel Rivals is a golden ticket for you to bring back readers by if you could put out cool, interesting stories. But no, you are literally in a company staffed by morons whose only goal is to burn it to the ground. What do you expect? People have been screaming and bawling and clamoring and protesting for you to put Mary Jane and Peter Parker back together, and you've bold-facedly come out and say you're never going to do that. You clearly don't want to make money. That's what it is. You clearly don't want to. Ay, ay, ay. Hell, even Squirrel Girl looks pretty freaking cool and interesting in Marvel Rivals. Squirrel Girl, I'm telling you, that's how amazing it is. Continues on. That said, we are planning to do something with Cloak and Dagger in the near future so that potential audience will have something to take a look at. You can literally hear the excitement in my voice. Interestingly, while Brevoort did not specifically note which characters were the outliers, when it came to Marvel Rivals comic book influence, a cursory glance at Marvel Comics' upcoming publishing plans revealed at least one confirmed candidate, Jeff the Landshark. Yeah, Jeff the Landshark. Because like I said, there is a correlation. You can use Marvel Rivals to get interest back into your print media. But the fact that you said, or you're going to do something with Cloak and Dagger, because you realize people are interested in the characters now. I have absolutely no faith in what you're going to do, but I'm just saying, you realize people are interested in the characters now. So don't pretend like, oh, there's no connection or nothing there, Tom. Come on. Nobody's buying that. Making his debut as a side character in Kelly Thompson's West Coast Avengers Volume 3 and Deadpool Volume 8 before spending the last 4 years near exclusively relegated to his own Infinity comic, Marvel Rivals Fearsome Strategist will be getting his first print solo series this June 18th, as written by Thompson and illustrated by Marvel Rivals Infinity comic artist Toki Tokoro. I hope I pronounced that correct. Plus, he also got his own Magic the Gathering card as part of the recent Deadpool-centric Secret Lair drop release. Well, notably, this is not the first time Brevoort has made it clear that the popularity of a given Marvel Rivals character is not one he considers when what one considers when making publishing decisions. Asked earlier this year whether or not the publisher was looking to capitalize on the increased interest being paid to Galacta thanks to her starring role as the game's announcer, the executive editor affirmed that while editor Jordan D. White has been waiting for this chance to do more Galacta ever since he helped to innovate the character years ago, when it came to himself as the Fantastic Four editor, I have to say that I don't like what the existence of that character does to Galactus, so I am very much in favor of refraining from more Galacta content, at least within the mainstream Marvel universe. I will agree that I do not think that Galacta should be in the mainstream Marvel universe. I think she should be in a separate thing on her own, maybe like some kind of children's book or something like that. Something just for fun. I think that's where the character belongs. I don't think she should have any connection whatsoever to Galactus. I think that's just ridiculous. But then again, this is Marvel and they will do what Marvel will do. So yeah, I don't think Galacta needs to be in the main Marvel universe. I will agree with that. Understand me? Jeff the Landshark is getting an appearance because Marvel Rivals has made him popular again. Squirrel Girl is really popular because people like the character, like her design, everything. I mean, literally, she looks sexy. That's the thing. That's what people like about these characters. They look amazing. That's it. You have Cloak and Dagger here who look fantastic as well. This is what people want. Emma Frost, absolutely freaking fantastic. But according to Tom Brevoort, no, the Marvel Rivals game have nothing to do with the print media. People don't really want it. That is just something people will say. Yeah, Tom, keep losing money by being a moron. That makes perfect sense. Meanwhile, people will keep playing Marvel Rivals, and when they see, they realize the same thing is happening with Marvel comics that happened with the MCU. Our property is hot, and you're doing absolutely nothing to capitalize on it. They will walk away again. But maybe that's what he wants. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.